Hey everyone, this is Saito, and this is going to be one of the worst versions in the history of Genshin Impact. This game has been very disappointing, and I want to explain to you why this version is going to be the worst one. But before that, please consider to subscribe because it will really help my channel grow, and also because then I will make even more videos for you. And now let's get to the video. So exactly what will happen in the version 5.4? Absolutely nothing. I don't even want to exaggerate this, little to nothing. The version will take place in Inazuma, which is probably one of the most favorite regions of all time, because Natlan surely isn't, and you can see that by so many aspects, and every single new thing that will happen is going to be a single new 5-star. But it's not even going to be an interesting 5-star, it's just going to be a random ass character that we never heard before, and even more than that, that character is going to appear in the standard banner after this, which just underlines how weak she's going to be. She looks very boring, she looks very plain, we know nothing about her. But what else do they bring to the table for this whole 42 days? Absolutely nothing, as I said before. There are not going to be any major events, any particular cool thing, just a bunch of random ass minigames that nobody really cares about, like fishing. The only reason why would anyone want to fish in Genshin is because you need the catch, not even that other bow that you can get by fishing. So it's just 42 days of doing nothing. Also because I don't think that anyone is going to pull for this actual character. Like, I don't see any big reason for why anyone would pull for her, simply because she's useless and nobody knows anything about her. This game has honestly been very disappointing because it just does not give anything recently. Like, these patches, this whole bunch of days absolutely do nothing. They did like one quality of life update, which is not even a very good one. Some people were actually saying that it was going to be an actual artifacts loadout, but it's not going to be that. They should have done it like 5 years ago and they still did not do it, which just shows you just how much shitty Genshin has been. After 5 years, the game still does not have that. The game still doesn't let you just pull for any talent that you want unless it's like Sunday or another day of the week, like 2 particular days, and you can't even skip quests after 5 fucking years. I don't even see why they're doing that. I honestly don't even see the reason why. I guess they really care about the script writers and the translators, but I guess they don't even like them that much because they fired a bunch of them without any notification. And also, listen up, the 2 NPCs are finally back. You thought they would not appear again, but here they are. And while in the Asian version of the game you see like a whole like Lumine, Yaemiko, Raiden Shogun and the new character, in the English version you just see these 2 random ass NPCs that will show you just one bit, like one screenshot of what's happening in the Asian version. This simply goes to show you just how much they're still suffering from the VA strike, even though they might have finally found a solution to that, but I will tell you that in the next video. So now let's say this all together. Natlan fucking sucks. I heard so many people just saying that they all fucking hate Natlan for a bunch of different reasons. First of all, the place is not nearly as eye-catching as any of the other regions. Fontaine looked very nice for a bunch of different reasons, for just how many things you could do there. There was a prison, there were like floating water cubes, and you could swim inside of them, so that was pretty nice. This story was very nice, the Archon had such an interesting lore, also the dragon, there were just so much going on. But for Natlan everything was different, from the exploration to something like the Archon herself. Like, nobody cares about the Archon, can we say this? Nobody actually cares about the Archon. She does not even use the motorbike in the story quest, she just uses it because it looks cool. The exploration is still boring, the game itself looks like it's going to crumble, and you can see it by so many things. Like, not many people are actually searching on Genshin Impact recently. If you go see the difference in views between the version of 5.3, which is the release of Citlali and Mawika, the whole fucking Archon, and you compare it to the version of 5.2, you can see that there is a difference of 2 fucking million views. That just goes to show you how much is the difference. Also, another thing, the phlogiston mechanic fucking sucks. I don't think nobody would ever like the idea that you can only use some skills only inside of Natlan. This does not even include the Abyss, so you can just have your skill a bit prolonged by a few seconds just inside of Natlan, and for no reasons. Like, the game won't get broken if you just can use that skill for a bit more time outside of Natlan. Who cares if you can do a double jump with Kinich, or if you can just swim around a bit longer, or if you can actually use the motorbike for a bit more time? Like, nobody will die because of that. I don't get why the game wants you to starve like this when you're actually paying for that, because most of these characters are actually just 5 stars. Not only this version, but I also heard so many people just saying that these characters do not look good, and you can see it even on so many different channels, even the channels that only say positive things about this game. And they could do so many things. Wanna know something that Wuthering Waves has recently done but that Genshin Impact will never do? Updating the gameplay of one of their other characters. Do you know the Rover, the fucking MC of Wuthering Waves? The Spectre version, so the most useless one, has been completely redesigned. I mean, I will not say completely, but it still got a huge buff. They gave them new mechanics, new stacks, and also a new whole set just for them. Do we even need to talk about the Traveler in Genshin Impact? He's a fucking failure. He has a single variant out of 5 that actually can do anything, because the Anemo, Geo, Hydro, and Pyro all do nothing, and each one of them always gets even worse. We somehow got a contestant to the Hydro Traveler, which has always been one of the worst characters ever made, and the Pyro one is surprisingly close to that. Why are they making him that way when in Starl, for example, the Traveler is very powerful? And same goes for Wuthering Waves. They treat the MC like he is the MC, or she of course, but in Genshin they treat them like shit. I remember people were like hoping that you could change the element mid-battle, so something like that will never ever happen, but even if it would happen after like all the entire versions, so like after 7 years since the game's release. And literally the peak of the Traveler's gameplay is being able to make a dick out of rocks, but of course only if you get the 5-star. Even there, they got a new main echo, so just a new boss monster to use as they please, and Genshin should do the same with something like Venti, because Venti now, if you just put it, it will get no money, because the people that have it will not have it again, because since the version 2.0 that everyone knows that Venti is completely useless, like the enemies are completely like unaffected by him. All he can do is a single small bounce since the start of the game, because it was literally like I think the first 5-star ever. He can just do a small jump and that's it for the Archon of Wind. They should just change it and make it so that he can fly, but even that would not be enough, because on Wuthering Waves you can do it for every single character. In Wuthering Waves you can fly, you can also use the grapple hook like Kinich does, but except you don't need a 5-star for that. For example, when I got Shan Yun, I thought that she could just become a bird and start flying around. That would have been pretty cool, but she can just not do that. She looks more like a rabbit just jumping around like a fucking idiot, while in Wuthering Waves you can literally fly. The game can do literally so much, and it needs to do so much because it has been losing so much money since the last year. They lost almost 50% of their whole fucking revenue in a single year, and they keep doing this. So what did they do instead? They just decided to post some horny stuff, because I guess that's another way to get the bag. Unironically, the biggest new update is going to be a bathhouse. In the version 5.4 there is going to be a bathhouse, where I guess you get to do a bath with the Raiden Shogun and the Amiko and the new character. Yeah, amazing. Which is honestly a shame, because something that I like about the game is that it's not a very horny game. Like Genshin, when it's about being sexual, it's not even close compared to other gacha games. When I think of a sexualized design in Genshin Impact, I can't even think of many. Like I can't even imagine a very sexualized design in Genshin. Do you want to compare this to something like Nike or any other game that is gacha? The game is still #1 in revenue for gacha games even after a -50% on it, and it managed to do it without even having to be horny. But now they're starting to change this because they're starting to lose quite some money. And you can also see it on the new character, which is just showing her ass all the time. Have you seen the old animation? And Zenless Zero does not even hide that. Like since the first release of the game, you can only see nipples, boobs, ass, but I guess they just wanted to do the thing. They need money and that game is a fucking failure, like it's leaking so much. And again, this is a shame because the game could improve so much. They could do so many things that people would like how much does it cost to just add a skip button? How much does it cost to add some new functions that just let you play more easily? Why do you have to pay to run up a wall when you're on Wuthering Waves you can do it all the time? Why do you have to pay for another 5-star to just use a grappling hook when you can do it all the time in Wuthering Waves? Why do you need to pay just to fly for 6 seconds with a newly released 5-star after 5 years when you can do it in Wuthering Waves all the time when only less than a year passed since its release? The game can improve literally on everything. The game could make players so happy because it already has such a strong fan base behind it. But instead of that, they prefer to just give them bits and pieces for nothing. They are actually losing so much money, and the attention is also going down because nobody cares about Natlan nor the Archon. So why not improving? Why not doing this? I guess from being leeches of your wallet, now they just hate money. I don't get why they're doing this. Same for the elixir or whatever it's called. You can only get one every single version, and you need 4 to craft a goblet. Do you understand that? You need to wait half a fucking year to get a piece of artifact. When on Wuthering Waves you can get basically as many echoes as you want all the day, because when you kill an enemy you may get that artifact. And the good thing is that it's not even rare, you can't even say that. And also the peak of the quality of life updates on artifacts, which are one of the most important aspects of the whole game, because the whole game revolves around them. While Wuthering Waves is ready for already artifacts loadouts, which is going to be something that we will never see on Genshin, instead what we get are the recommended substats. So thank you, now I know that my Eula needs crit rate and crit damage, I didn't know that. Did you know that Zhongli needed HP? Man, I didn't know that. I guess these changes were made for the sons of the developers of this game, because the stupidity behind these updates has to do with genes for sure. And this is it for the video. I would say something like I hope that they will improve in the future, but I already know that they won't. At least they still don't get that they should improve and how they should improve, so instead I just hope that they kept being outclassed by so many other games, especially because there are going to be like at least 3 new gacha games that are going to be probably massive. Project Mugen, Everness to Everness, the new Arknight one, they are all very big titles, they are all very backed up by a lot of money, so they can be a good competitor, and this will make Genshin struggle even more, and they deserve this. If they don't improve, they deserve to struggle and lose even more money than half of their whole revenue. I hope they can realize this, and I hope that they can make sure that they actually become a good game for once, that they can actually improve at something, and if they don't, it's just on them. If you enjoyed the video, please consider to subscribe and also like, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!